I'm Mark from Mobile Fun, and in today's video, we're going to take a look at 4 cases you can get right now so you can make sure your iPhone 15 Pro is protected from day one. Let's start off with the simplest case from today's lineup, Elixir's Ultra Clear case. Now this case is made of a sort of flexible gel material. It feels really soft in the hand and is nice and flexible, so it's easy to get on and off the device. This is also one of the thinnest cases from today's selection. Now because it is a thin case, it does offer a small amount of protection. It's probably best to protect your phone against scratches and maybe some small drops. But if you're someone who drops your phone often, it's probably not going to protect your screen. Now the obvious benefit of a clear case is the fact you can still see the colour of the device that you've chosen. I personally really like this because I take the time to decide the colour of my phone. Now if you are someone who drops your phone often, stick around because the next couple of cases are probably going to be better suited for you. If you're enjoying this video, make sure you like and subscribe. Right, let's get on to the next case. Now this clear glitter case is much more protective than the last case we looked at. This is because it has a hard plastic back and much thicker material on the sides as well. It does make the case feel a lot stiffer and a little bit difficult to put on the phone. However, once it's on there, you know your phone's going to be protected. Now the obvious difference between this and the previous case is the addition of glitter. I really like the look of this case. It still offers the benefit of a clear case, being able to see the colour of your device through it, but it adds a layer of sparkle, literally. I think it looks great and it will certainly make your phone pop. Now the buttons on this case are also really satisfying. They offer a good amount of clickiness, and I'm quite surprised actually because of the amount of material on the edges of this case. The next case we have is sort of an in-between of the last 2 cases that we looked at. It's the Elixir MagSafe clear case. And like the last case, it has a hard plastic back. The sides are a lot thinner and more flexible, and is a nice in-between of protection and thinness. Now the obvious reason you'd pick up this case over the last 2 is the fact it has MagSafe. Now MagSafe is essentially a ring of magnets built into the case and phone, which attach to other accessories. Now these include battery banks, stands and wallets, and is really an ecosystem in itself. I personally use MagSafe accessories every day to mount my phone in my car and on my fitness bike as well. I find it really useful as you can just snap it on and not really have to think about it. Now just like the last 2 cases, the buttons are nice and clicky. They feel really responsive and it's just a pleasure to use, to be honest. The only drawback I've really found with this case is that it seems to attract fingerprints on the hard plastic back. That's it for this case, but let's move on to our final one. Last up, we have Elixir's carbon case. And to start with, it's not actually carbon. It has this hard plastic back with a carbon sort of texture to it. It feels and looks really nice in my opinion though. It also has this TPU frame which will add a good amount of protection as well. It has a sort of semi-see-through hard plastic back which you can sort of see the Apple logo through at certain angles. I think it just looks different than other cases and I really like the texture to it as well. I also like that this will look slightly different depending on the colour of iPhone that you put in it. Now other than that, it probably adds about the same amount of protection as the previous case we looked at. The sides are fairly thin, which means it's not going to be great for a drop protection. However, it does mean that the buttons feel nice and clicky here again. These buttons also remind me of something that Spigen do. They're sort of like a big square cutout, which means they're ultra flexible and also have a nice big surface area to press them into as well. Overall, I think an interesting looking case, and I do like the fact that you can just see the Apple logo through it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, remember to like and subscribe. And if you want to grab any of these cases or just find out more information, the links are in the description too.